Call the meeting to order on April 13th, 2021. First item of business, or next item, is roll call. All alderpersons are present except Alderperson Veneman, who is excused. In chambers, we have Joe Zerflu, Scott Kellogg, Shane Blazer, Sue Schill, Steve Koth, Jay Katnaugh, Ted Kubishak, and online we have Tom Rayom for the council members. Next item on our agenda is, I'm sorry, Jay Bemke also. So the next item is Pledge of Allegiance and silent prayer in lieu of invocation. Our next item is mayor's recognitions. I'll come around front. Actually, Joe, Scott, and Steve, you want to come up? This is their last the three of them. This is their last meeting for their time on council. We have a plaque of appreciation of your service. Joe's service is from 2016 to 2021. Scott Kellogg has served the council from 2013 till now. And we have Steve Koth, who served from 2015 until now. We just want to thank you for your service and the time you put in. I think little people really realize sometimes how much time you have to put in, enduring some of the phone calls that you have to endure and some of those experiences. But we've all appreciated your service and your experience that you brought to this council. Thank you. Yes, I'd like to also give you the opportunity to speak. Joe, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Well, I'd just like to thank the residents of District 1, Wards 1 and 4, of course, for allowing me to serve for this time. Ryan Austin will be replacing me. I've spoke with him little, but he seems raring to go, and I'm sure he'll do a very good job, and that's basically it. Just don't... I just want to say, thank you to everybody.
Thank you, Joe. Scott?
I also want to thank the residents of District 3. Matt Zacher will be replacing me, and I've enjoyed the 7 or 8 years that I've been on the council and previous councils and Mayor Verwink and Mayor Blazer, and especially this last council. So I wish you well. Thanks.
Thank you, Scott. And Steve?
And thank you, Your Honor. I, likewise with Joe and Scott, would like to thank the residents of District 5 that put their trust in me for the last 6 years to be here. It's certainly been a learning experience. Always easier on the outside looking in until you actually get in and see the process that goes into making the decisions. I've enjoyed working with everybody on the previous councils and getting to see the different points of view and working to come for decisions that were in the best interest of the city. Want to give a special thank you to Alderperson Scott Kellogg, who sat in for me a lot this year when I couldn't make meetings. I sincerely appreciate that. And also give a special thank you to Alderperson Tom Rayom. When I got on here, I had a learning curve, and it's kind of funny because you can't get two people that are politically more different than myself and Tom Rayom. and was able to take and work with Tom and have a lot of good conversations and learn a lot of things with him. And the department heads from the city, enjoyed working with all of them. When I've had questions, I've been able to go to them and get answers. And I think the department heads and the staff that we have that have helped me and the rest of the council achieve the things that we have achieved. And Miss Sherry Evanson will be replacing me, and I believe she will do a good job for the city as well. And I wish everybody on this council and at City Hall and throughout the city best of luck in the time to come.
Thank you. Next item of business is the reading of the minutes of the previous meeting held on March 13th, 2021. What are your wishes?
I'll move to dispense the reading and approve the minutes.
Motion by Joe. Seconded by Kellogg. Any discussion, corrections, or anything? Seeing none, please cast your ballots. Mr. Rayom?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carried, 7 ayes, 0 nays. Next item is consider a resolution extending the emergency declaration proclamation regarding COVID-19 pandemic. Guess what are your wishes? I guess personally, since this has probably been, potentially for my usage or benefit, I have not really felt a strong necessity for it. And should you decide not to continue it, I don't see an issue with that. If anything comes up, obviously I'd keep you informed, and we can always call a special meeting really quick if need be. But I will leave it in your hands.
I'll move to approve the emergency resolution. It's been, well, I won't make a comment now.
So a motion by Zerflu. Second by Koth. Mr. Catno.
Depending on how this vote goes, I just wanted to ask if we've addressed the Zoom policy outside of this. I know there was talk we were going to set one forth. Did that happen, or?
Go ahead, Ms. Rowe.
Right, that was 2 meetings ago, I believe. I should have pulled that up here, where the council passed a rule outside of the emergency declaration that basically said that remote meetings could continue, and pretty much I think kind of the same language that's in the emergency declaration right now, that meetings can be held or electronically and remotely, and as long as the meetings are accessible to the public, and that's for standing committees and common council, or for standing committees and common council meetings, other persons would need to appear in person or via video conferencing with the video enabled. So that's a rule that's out there outside of this declaration.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please cast your ballots. Mr. Rayom?
Aye.
That motion carried, 6 ayes, 1 nay. Next item is consider for approval a proposed sitting resolution for the proposed expansion of the Advanced Disposal Services Cranberry Creek Landfill LLC. See attachment 3. What are your wishes? Questions, comments?
Make a motion to approve.
you have a motion by Coe? Is and a second by Mr. Zerflu. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please cast your ballots. Mr. Rayon.
Aye.
Thank you. That motion carried 7 ayes, 0 nays. Item 8 is considered adoption of the action of the Planning Commission at its meeting held on April 5th, 2021. Give me a second, I need to pull that out. You'd probably be quicker. Thank you for being organized. The Planning Commission meeting the Plan Commission met at 4 p.m. on April 5th, 2021 within the Common Council chambers and via remote audio conferencing. List of participants are on file in the clerk's office. The meeting was called to order at 4 p.m. Item 1, approval of the report from the March 1st, 2021 Plan Commission meeting. Motion by Tao, second by Bray, to approve the reports from March 1st, 2021 Plan Commission meeting. That motion carried 6 ayes, 0 nays. Item 2 is We Energies, request for an approximate 6 by 6 foot easement for utilities in the parking lot at 130 2nd Street North, parcel ID 3408140. Motion by Bray, second by Blazer, to approve the request by We Energies for a 6 foot by 6 foot easements for utilities in a parking lot at 130 2nd Street North, parcel ID 3408140. That motion carried 6 ayes, 0 nays. Item 3 is Plan 21-0191, Teresa Cashman. Request for a site plan amendment review to expand the parking and outdoor seating at 3820 A Street South, parcel ID 3413806. Motion by Fee, second by Tao, to approve the request for Plan 21-0191, Teresa Cashman. Request for a site plan amendment review to expand parking and outdoor seating at 3820 A Street South, parcel ID 3413806. Subject to the following conditions: an updated site landscaping plan shall be submitted for review and approval by the Community Development Department, including specified or identified species. B is a light plan shall be submitted for review and approval by the Community Development Department. C is the parking lot setback from the north property line shall be at least 5 feet. Parking stalls and island dimension standards shall be met and identified on an updated site plan submitted for review and approval by the Community Development Department. Item E is all applicable permits through the City of Wisconsin Rapids and other jurisdictions shall, such as the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources, shall be obtained. Item F is necessary plans for erosion control and stormwater requirements per the City of Wisconsin Rapids Municipal Code shall be submitted and approved by the Public Works Department. Community development staff shall have the authority to approve minor modifications to that plan. That motion carried 6 ayes, 0 nays. Item 4 is Plan 21-0165, Stratford Sign Company LLC. Request for a sign exception to reface an existing non-conforming freestanding sign at 2100 7th Street South, parcel ID 3412128. Motion by Blazer, seconded by Feith, to approve Plan 21-0165, Stratford Sign Company, LLC, request for a sign exception to reface an existing non-conforming freestanding sign at 2100 7th Street South, parcel ID 3412128, subject to the following conditions. A proposed freestanding sign, cabinet, or base shall not be altered beyond the face change. The applicant shall obtain all necessary sign and building permits through Community Development Department. Item C is all applicable building and zoning standards shall be met regarding the proposed signage. That motion carried 6 ayes, 0 nays. Item 5 is Plan 21-0168, Mead-Witter Foundation, Inc. Request for a site plan review to construct a park-like improvements at 111 West Grand Avenue, parcel ID 3402490. Commissioner Feith recused herself. Motion by Blazer, second by Hanson to approve Plan 21-0168, Mead-Witter Foundation, Inc. Request for a site plan review to construct a park-like improvements at 111 West Grand Avenue, parcel ID 3402490, subject to the following conditions. A lighting site plan showing the intensity at the property line shall be submitted to be reviewed and approved by the Community Development Department. Applicable permits through the city shall be obtained. Community Development staff shall have the authority to approve minor modifications to the plans. That motion carried, 5 ayes, 0 nays. Item 6 is Plan 21-0169, Community Development Department, public hearing action on a request to amend Chapter 11 zoning code of the city's municipal code to clarify vision triangle requirements for alleys, driveways, and streets. The public hearing was opened at 4:17 p.m. No one spoke in favor or against the request, and that public hearing was closed at 4:18 p.m. Motion by Tao, second by Feith, to approve Plan 21-0169, Community Development Department, public hearing and action on a request to amend Chapter 11 zoning code of the municipal code to clarify vision triangles requirements for alleys and driveways and streets. That motion carried, 6 ayes, 0 nays. Item 7 was adjournment. That motion by Blazer, second by Tao. That motion carried, 6 ayes, 0 nays, and the meeting adjourned at 4:20 p.m. With that, submit that for your approval.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Yep. Motion by Koth. We lost connection. We lost connection on the screen, Tyler. We have a motion by Koth. Second by Zerflu. If there's any discussion, flag me down. There we go. Because of the ordinance. So let's do a roll call, being there's no ordinance in there. Zerflu?
Aye.
Kellogg? Rayom? Oh, yeah, he's not. Did we lose internet? All right, let's wait for technology. You see me on there? On Zoom? I gotta. Log back in.
You good? Tyler, can you tell me who else is online besides Steve Young and Brian Hartman?
I'm zooming back in. I lost my Zoom screen. All right, so let's try this again. Let's push our buttons then, since we're back in. So we have a motion and a second to adopt the plan or adoption of the Plan Commission report. You could please cast your ballots. Mr. Kubishak? Mr. Rayom, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you. That motion carried 7 ayes, 0 nays. Item 9 is consider for adoption the action of the standing committees. The first one is Finance and Property, April 5th. Mr. Cole.
Thank you, Your Honor. Property and Finance Committee was held on April 5th, 2001. All members were present. A list of others in attendance is on file with clerk's office. The meeting was called to order at 5 p.m. First action item was review and approval of the City of Wisconsin Rapids Grant Management Policy. It was moved by Kubishak, seconded by Kellogg, to approve the City of Wisconsin Rapids Grant Management Policy. Attachment number 1, motion carried. Item number 3 was consider for approval a resolution amending the 2021 budget. It was moved by Koth, seconded by Kellogg, to approve resolution number 14, amending the 2021 budget. Attachment number 2, motion carried. Item number 4 was audit of the bills. It was moved by Koth, seconded by Kellogg, to approve check number 7584 to 8063. Motion carried. Item number 5 was consider the sale of a vacant city parking lot located near East Jackson Street, parcel ID 3408147, to adjoining property owner CNC Steckbauer LLC. In open session, the committee may vote to go into closed session under section 19.85, para 1, para 3 of the Wisconsin statutes, which reads deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. In closed session, the committee may discuss negotiations and strategy regarding the sale of the above property. The committee will return to open session. In open session, the committee may continue to discuss the sale of the vacant parking lot, parcel ID 3408147, to CNC Steckbauer LLC, and may take action on the sale of said parcel. It was moved by Koth, seconded by Kellogg, to go into closed session. A roll call vote in the affirmative. In closed session, the committee discussed the sale of vacant city parking lot and adjourned in closed session. That is what I got for the meeting minutes from Property and Finance. I believe we're going to go into closed session here again tonight, so at this time for the report, I would make a motion to approve items number 1 through 4, holding out number 5 for discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Koth. We have a motion by Koth, second by Bemke, to approve the report with item 5 being held out. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please cast your ballots. Mr. Rayom?
Aye.
Thank you. That motion carried 7 ayes, 0 nays, and item 5 we will hold till the end of the meeting. Okay, we're on to item B, Public Works Committee meeting. Mr. Rayom.
Thank you, Your Honor. Public Works Committee met in the council chambers of Wisconsin Rapids and via remote video conferencing on April 6, 2021. Connor Elm, Jake Katnaw, and Tim Beneman were present. Others attending are on file in clerk's office. Item 1 was call the meeting to order. Meeting was called to order at 6:07 PM. Item 2, review the DPW report. The report was reviewed. Item 3, review the West Jackson Street Project Transportation Plan and relocation order. Motion by Rayum and second by Catna to approve the West Jackson Transportation Plan and relocation order. Motion carried 3-0. Update on the status of the rail car storage agreement on city-owned rail. An update was presented. Item 5, review the referral list. The referral list was reviewed. Item 6 was adjournment. There's a motion by Veterman, second by Rayum to adjourn. The motion carried 3-0. With that, Your Honor, I'd move for adoption. If anybody has any questions, there's a DPW report was in our packet. The rail car letter is in there, and West Jackson Street is also in there, but if people have questions on it, but I move for adoption of the report.
Thank you. We have a motion by Rome, second by Koth. Any further discussion or questions? Seeing none, please cast your ballots. Mr. Rayom?
Aye.
Thank you. That motion carried, 7 ayes, 0 nays. We're on to the Human Resource Committee meeting held on April 8th. Mr. Kubaschak.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Meeting of the Human Resource Committee was held Thursday, April 8th, 2021 at 3:30 p.m. In the council chambers. All committee members were present. Everybody else is on file in clerk's office. Item number 1, call a meeting to order. The meeting was actually called at 3:45 p.m. because the chairperson completely spaced the meeting. Item number 2, discuss and consider for approval extending the current employee emergency paid leave policy due to the COVID-19 pandemic through June 30th, 2021, and add the following additional conditions under which an employee may use the leave. A, employee is seeking or awaiting the results of a diagnostic test for or a medical diagnosis of COVID-19 and such employee has been exposed to COVID-19. B, the city has requested such test or diagnosis. C, employee is obtaining immunization related to COVID-19. Or D, employee is recovering from injury, disability, illness, or condition related to the COVID-19 immunization. Motion by Kubaschak, second by Bemke to approve extending the current employee emergency paid leave policy due to COVID-19 pandemic through June 30th, 2021, while adding the above conditions. Motion carried 3-0. Item number 3, discuss and consider for approval professional services agreement with Carlson Detman Consulting to provide a classification and compensation study for non-represented positions within the city. Motion by Kubaschak, second by Zeraflu to approve a professional services agreement with Carlson Detman Consulting to provide a classification and compensation study for non-represented employee positions within the city. Motion carried 3-0. Item number 4, HR Department update was offered by Mr. Ryan Hartman. Item number 5, adjournment. Motion was made by Kubaschak, second by Zeraflu to adjourn. Motion carried 3-0. The meeting adjourned at 4:38 p.m. With that, if I don't have any items to be held out, I'll make a motion for approval.
So motion by Kubaschak, second by Katna. Is there any further discussions? Seeing none, please cast your ballots. Mr. Rayon?
Aye.
That motion carried 7 ayes, 0 nays. On to item 10, report of other committees, commission, boards, and departmental reports. What are your wishes?
Make a motion to place the balance of the reports on file.
Thank you. We have a motion by Mr. Cole, second by Mr. Kellogg. Any further discussion on any of those reports? Seeing none, please cast your ballots. Mr. Rayon?
Aye.
Thank you. That motion carried 7 ayes, 0 nays. Item 11 is any referrals to committees.
I have a question.
Go
What has always disturbed me for the time I've been on the council is 8th Street, the congestion, the condition, and so forth. And I see in Whiting and Plover, new highways, And with the discussion by the federal government with infrastructure, I just wonder where A Street is on the DOT's list. And what do they use for criteria? Going down A Street today, and there was some construction because of the condition, but it's so crowded. And I've been in Plover and Whiting and gone down their roads. I would bet there's a lot less traffic and trucks and that on those streets than we have on ours. So I don't know how maybe the city has to petition, maybe other municipalities in the area have to petition. I'm just curious as to where they rank 8th Street, or if it's even on the radar. And so it's something, I just want to make that comment, that I think it's something that we need to explore and find out from DOT where we stand. And if we stand low on the docket, maybe petition or try to raise it, because it is a dangerous area and congested. So, and it's the first thing any visitor to Wisconsin Rapids sees, and it doesn't, I don't think, represent Wisconsin Rapids. So, something to think about.
Thank you. Our local representatives, I usually make sure anytime I have a chance to see them, I bring up A Street. And matter of fact, I was at an event with them, and I looked over at them, and they said, "I bet you the mayor wants to talk about A Street." So, and probably Joe over there could probably explain a little bit more if he knows. I don't think it's even been enumerated, or I'm not sure. Joe could probably explain a little bit more.
Yeah, it hasn't been, and staff approaches the DOT annually to discuss the issue. We've met in their office, expressed concern with some of the other projects that have apparently received a higher consideration than a street that's one of the oldest and worst in the area. So we continue to have those discussions and push either email correspondence, phone correspondence, and we've met at DOT on several occasions. I would say it's at least annually. I met with the Secretary of Transportation last year, a year and a half ago, I guess, on that matter. It's something that his staff were obviously concerned about. I guess the ride quality is what everybody notices. But from a public works planning standpoint, the issue is obsolescence of all of the infrastructure and trying to avoid projects similar to what we had a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I guess, with We Energies tearing up and inconveniencing businesses and closing lanes. If that happens year after year after year, because all of the infrastructure is obsolete, the electric's obsolete, storm sewer's obsolete, water main for most parts obsolete. The traffic signals and the actuators for the signals are obsolete, so the pavement's obsolete. And at this point in time, the best we can get out of the DOT is that they might be interested in partnering on a maintenance project, which would be an overlay, which wouldn't make any sense. It'd be like the fiasco in Wausau. Anyway, long story, but we continue to work on it. It's a high priority. It also remains on the Public Works referral list as a referral because it remains a high priority.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
that's been a pet peeve or whatever of mine for a long time. His Street there, it's on the referral list. We've kept it on there. Whoever is on the Public Works, I'd encourage them to review that at one of their initial meetings, just to go over it and to see what action could be taken or anything. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bemke, did you get your referral taken care of from the resident of 25th? Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you. Please use your microphone next time. That's my scolding for the night. All right, thank you, everybody. The next item on the agenda would be regarding the Finance and Property Committee, item number 5. The council may vote to, well, the council, I guess will probably vote to go into closed session under section 1985 of the Wisconsin statute, which reads, deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public property, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. In closed session, the council discussed the negotiations and strategy regarding the sale of a vacant city parking lot, parcel ID 34-08147 to CNC Steckbauer LLC. The council will return to open session, and in open session, the council may continue to discuss the sale of the vacant city parking lot at parcel ID 34-08147 to CNC Steckbauer LLC, and may take action on that sale of said proper parcel. What are your wishes?
I'll move to go into closed session.
I have a motion by Zerflu, seconded by Katnaugh. Please cast your ballots. Mr. Rayom.
Aye.
All right, that motion carried, 7 ayes, 0 nays. If you give us a few minutes here, we'll get 7:27. Council, what are your wishes?
I'll make a motion to approve the sale of the vacant city lot, parcel ID number 34-08147, to approve the sale agreement to CNC Steckbauer LLC.
Thank you. We have a motion by Zerflu, seconded by Koth. Is there any further discussions? Seeing none, please cast your ballots. Mr. Rayom?
Aye.
Thank you. That motion carried 6 ayes and 1 nay. We're on to our final item of this council cycle, item 13, adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion by Koth, second by Zerflu. Just for last time, please cast your ballots. Okay, we can do it by voice if you want. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? That motion carried. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week again at our reorganization meeting.